Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle Supplement and Science Review. And today we're going to be talking about Turkesterone, not to be confused with the ever popular testosterone, which we all know what that does. Turkesterone, okay, is what they call an adaptogen. It's also known as an ecdysteroid. It's a steroidal or sterile compound that we can find in plants and in even insects, believe it or not. And they use this, I guess it's a hormonal agent in them that they do all kinds of different things. And it kind of acts like testosterone in their bodies. And people have been isolating this and using it now as a supplement. There's a couple of them out there, a couple of these plant sterols that have been around for years on the market. And it seems like just recently they've been really promoting the hell out of this Turkesterone as the newest anabolic aid, anabolic-like compound that doesn't have any side effects. It doesn't bind to the androgen receptor. It doesn't cause any androgenic side effects, like excessive hair growth or male pattern baldness or gynecomastia or anything that goes along with anything that you would use steroidal. Yet it has all these recuperative effects and muscle building, repair, blood sugar regulating. It does pretty much everything you could ever want it to do, but nothing that's quantifiable. And so a lot of people have been asking me, hey Dave, is this something I should use? And so I always do my research and I go and I look and as soon as I start seeing the terms Russian adaptogen, the Russians back in the 70s and 80s were winning all the gold medals, okay, in the Olympics. It's because, and all their athletes they had on steroids, including the women, specifically testosterone. And then, we kind of caught on, and then we started doing the same thing. But for some reason, people only think that they remember that the Russians had some kind of secret herbs that they were using, that those were the things that were giving their athletes the advantage over everyone else. And they call these things Russian adaptogens. And I'm sure the Russians were experimenting with different plant sterols, just like, the historical, story tells us, but doubtful that they were actually doing anything. And you can look in the literature, and there's a million different, studies that are cited and possible connections between, improved performance and recovery from workouts, but nothing quantifiable and nothing that I've ever seen stand the test of time. Supplements that stand the test of time, like creatine, that have been around for 25 years. The reason they're around for 25 years is because they actually work. They actually do something. These plant sterols have been perpetrated and pushed on the bodybuilding and fitness market for so long, since I've gotten into it in the early 80s. And you know what? They don't work. They don't do anything. Don't waste your money on these things. And I know there's going to be people out there that are pushing these supplements, and they're going to say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. We get all these studies. I'm telling you, the reason why they don't do anything side effect wise is because they don't bind and they don't do anything to the androgen receptor. Okay, when we talk about selective androgen receptor modulators, Sarms, that are out there now on the market, this was a class of drugs that they created that actually stimulates the androgen receptor without the steroidal side effects. It does what it says it does. It's not as strong as steroids, obviously, for whatever reasons, but they do what they say. They stimulate the androgen receptor to tell the cell to produce more new muscle tissue, more engage in more protein synthesis. These compounds don't bind to those receptors at all, okay? That's why they don't build muscle, okay? There's a reason why they don't build muscle. People could say they help with recovery and they do this and they burn fat and they improve your blood sugar. I don't believe it. I don't see it. I don't know anyone who's gotten results from it. And the bottom line is I don't want to see you guys waste your money. There's a lot of things supplement-wise that you can spend your money on that is worth it, that will do something positive for you, whether it be aid in recovery, help with, increasing health markers, build muscle, etc., etc., etc. But, to put the term sterone on the end of it, like testosterone, Turkesterone, kind of market confusion there. People who are new to the marketplace might see this, oh, it's something legal I can buy. They're saying it does all these great things. I want to build muscle. I'm a young guy and I don't know anything about steroids. I don't want to take steroids because of the stigma of them. It's a perfect way to confuse people into using something. And these things are not cheap. They're not selling these things cheap by any means. If you go look at, you can scan the internet, you'll find, various companies selling it. And I'm not trying to foo-foo any companies. I'm not calling out any names because you know what? People like to, sell fad supplements, that's fine. But when you make claims like builds muscle, burns fat, improves blood sugar control, adaptogens, these are very vague terms, especially the term adaptogen. You can call anything an adaptogen. Vitamin C is an adaptogen, okay? It will help you with recovery and enhance your immune system a little bit. Adaptogen doesn't mean anything, okay? The bottom line is, can it quantifiably build muscle? And the answer is no, okay? And I can assure you of that. So Thanksgiving's coming up, I know, next week. So if you want a little cranberry sauce on your Turkesterone, that's fine. But don't waste your money and think that you're going to build serious muscle with this compound. It's not going to happen. And there's several of them. You might see 20 ecdysterones out there, Turkesterone. There's different names, but ecdysterones or ecdysteroids, sometimes they're known as, are these plant-derived or insect-derived hormones that they try to create market confusion and say that they're going to, do the same thing as steroids. I've seen some sites and some videos out there that say they're better than steroids. And that's downright dishonest, and it's not true. So guys, most of the time I like to review supplements that actually do something and work. Occasionally I have to go out there and I have to dispute things and I have to say, look, you know what? The science is not there. This is a marketing ploy. It's a fad supplement. I guarantee you in 2 to 3 years, this won't be being sold anymore, or people won't be buying it because they'll be on to the next fad supplement. And, there's so many things out there, once again, that you can spend your money on that's worth buying. So do your research. Don't be sold on flash marketing and fancy terminology. Don't be confused by the term steroid or steroid or ecdysteroid, or it's not the same thing. Anything that, if it doesn't bind to the androgen receptor, okay, it's not going to build muscle in your body. And that's unfortunately just the truth. So to reiterate once again, does Turkesterone build and repair muscle to the point where you're going to spend $70 a bottle to buy this stuff? Absolutely not. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle Supplement and Science Review.